Hello, hello, hello. I am in the living room. I want to do an art tour now. So here is. Okay, I'm gonna start. Let me start with the frog pond. So this here is the frog pond. Also made from packaging material. The frog is actually a toy that I got, a squishy toy, but it started leaking. So I embedded it into this pond and painted the surface. Usually I don't make eyes round, I make eyes rectangular, cubic, like these here. These are also packaging materials. And there's another one. From packaging materials, there's a small one on the side, and then in the corner I made the top two ones from packaging materials many years ago, and the ones underneath I made those in LA. So, and then I have a whole bunch of artwork in this glass cabinet. Probably doesn't show very well. So, and then I have, it shows a little bit more, a little bit brighter now. And here it's nice. I think the light is quite nice right now. So, and then these two pieces are also packaging material that I made many years ago. And so, and then this here, this is really cool. The traditional painting with the tree and the ocean is made by Paul's mother Betty, long time ago. She also painted many paintings, and some of them were falling apart, the frames and stuff. So one we gave to Dorothy and Kenny, Paul's aunt and cousin, and I don't know what happened to the other ones. I guess we gave those to the other family members. But we kept this one, and we kept the horse. I'll get closer to that. So this was from Betty, and so then the other ones, the other four pieces next to it, I made those over the years. So one is called the Trump Tower, which is the one on the bottom with the blue hearts. I make hearts kind of rectangular, cubic. My hearts look a little bit like infinity signs. And I don't know, this is probably not gonna show very well. But on the side of the Trump Tower is embedded into the tower part is embedded a fingernail polisher grinder from the Dollar Tree store that has glitter on it, and I don't like glitter. I only got that package because I needed tweezers, and I thought, alright, I'm gonna make some artwork with that glitter piece, and I embedded that into it. I glued a plastic material, clear plastic, over it, and I used t-shirt paint that's fluorescent, that glows in the dark, to glue that over it. And in the dark it actually glows. It's really cool. So, and the orange one is the blue gourd in orange, and the green ones are the ghosts. And I'll show this here. This is the horse. This is a horse that Paul's grandmother made out of a used old surfboard. which is really nice. Reusing materials, I really like it. So we kept these two art pieces, one from his mother, one from his grandmother, which is the horse. This is his dad's mother's artwork. And they grew up, they had it very rough. They grew up in South Dakota, very poor. They were like agricultural people, and they had it very rough. So Ernie, Paul's father, grew up like this very harsh climate and everything, and they had to make the best out of everything. So I think this horse is very lovely that Paul's grandmother made, and I thought those are the two best pieces of memory for his family. So these windows, they had a really bad curtain which I took off, but it was a big struggle for me to finally get him to agree to. After a year putting up with this embroidery curtain, I finally put a canvas cloth over those frames, those blind, those jalousie frames. So and they look kind of ragged, but much better than the embroidery curtain. So I grew up with modern art, and for me it is absolutely abhorrent to put up with embroidery lace curtains. That's like a real bad insult to any house to put embroidery lace curtains on it. So no, I would like this here, for example. Though the other windows are like that as well. This has vertical blinds. I would take all of that off. I would take the vertical blinds off, the frame for all the frames for the windows, and I would just leave it empty without any curtains, and let more air in also, and clean the windows very well. Nobody can look in here from in this entire living room, which is really cool. I really like that. I recently cleaned the balcony door. I cleaned all the goo off. I already talked about this. So I'm gonna take this into my other rooms. I just wanna see if this shows. Might just show. Okay, this is the kitchen, and I have this amazing surface there, like a shelf, and I thought, okay, that is perfect for those oatmeal jars that I all painted over the years. so many, 12. Look at that. It has space for 2 more. And I made those already there at the other house, thinking maybe we should bring it and add them to the collection. That'd be cool. And then leave it here. I think this looks really, really nice. This makes the kitchen look so much nicer. And people, whoever buys this house, they can have these jars. And they can put all kinds of stuff in it. Yeah. So, and then I have one piece on the wall here in the pantry room, and this is the washroom, and I have this piece here that is the blue god in dog form. It is a beautiful piece, and sometimes the sun shines in here very, very bright and illuminates this beautiful blue, and it glows. It's very nice. So let's see. I have one in here, but this is not gonna show. This is way too dark right now. So, and there are There are some in Paul's bedroom, but they are, that's too dark in there. This is my bathroom here. Yeah, I'm making a video right now, I'm showing my artwork. So, but it is kind of dark in here. So then I have 2 pieces on that wall. So this, the upper one I made in LA, that had been in the motorhome when we were traveling. And then the lower one I added, which it was already cut in the right size for the motorhome. And then I made that one at the other house and then put that into the motorhome to give the other one company. And then when we moved to this house, I thought this is the perfect spot for those. And then I also have what I call window guards. Those are 2x4 pieces that I have painted a lot of those 2x4 pieces as window guards, and also to attach on the side of the house on the masonry. I have put some up, which is really nice. And I'm gonna show you now my new ones. These are the older ones, you have already seen those. And the upper one I made at the other house. That upper one is called Walking the Dog Twice, and the lower one is the ego dissolution funnel. The person falls into a palm tree and hangs there. And then those are all of those are this is packaging material here. The upper one is a styrofoam board from Home Depot. Those are packaging materials, these here. Behind that is that's a really large styrofoam board that I got. They're not very expensive, like $20, you know. A canvas of that size would cost $200. So, okay, now here are my new ones. So this here, these 2 pieces here. So this one is called Fort Bidwell Part 1. Hope it shows. And this one is called Fort Bidwell Part 2. Okay, now I'll tell a little story about this. When we went to Fort Bidwell, California, I was absolutely in awe with that fortress. I didn't know about this fortress. Paul didn't know about the fortress. The highway goes straight towards the fortress. That's how they built it in the 1800s. I believe his name was John Bidwell, who was a settler and settling there, and also in charge of the military there, and he had this fortress built, and it's a beautiful fortress with absolutely gorgeous masonry made out of stone and cement, and I wished I could buy it and have it restored. That's like a dream of mine, you know. So I was so impressed with that fortress that after that camping trip with the van, when we came back, I decided, okay, I'm gonna take these packaging materials and I'm gonna make Fort Bidwell Part 1 and 2 out of it. And they do look a little bit like Fort Bidwell. Just a little bit, you know. I don't know, some kind of, what was in it, some kind of garden tools or something. With a bunch of indentations to hold the tools in place, and I can only paint so far into those. So I thought, to make it look better, I put fabric into the holes, and I really like the way that looks. I love it, absolutely love it. I did that with my other pieces as well, and they look so good in front of that big painting. really, really nice. So the story here is, okay, first I'm going to tell the story when we went there with the van. We walked up to the fortress because I was so fascinated with that building. Very contemporary style, actually. One could build like this today and it would pass as playfully more modern, actually. So that's why I would love to have that restored by an architect, but that would cost at least $10 million to restore that, and to, because it's collapsing, the roof has fallen in, it's completely, it is like a biohazard. They have red taped that fortress, nobody is allowed to go in. So we walked around it, and what happened? The first thing that happened, movement. Someone lives in that fortress. An owl. Oh, a big, huge owl, like the Wisconsin gray owl. That's how she looked like, I believe, a mother with a nest. And she had her nest in the first floor of that fortress. It was later. It had been remodeled and made into a school for the Native American children that were living in that area. But then at some point it got abandoned and nobody took care of that building, and so it rotted out. The wood parts of it rotted out, and that's why I would never work with wood ever. I paint some wood piece, like wood scrap pieces, just to reuse them, make something nice out of it. But I would never buy wood. And I urged Paul to restore the deck out there, the balcony deck, with wood scraps and with wood beams that had been left over in the garage from the other people, or other wooden pieces that have come off, to restore the deck with that as much as possible. Okay, and not buy any new wood, particularly not wood, but if at all, I am for buying these 8x2 beams made out of an amalgamation of plastic and recycled plastic with cork and different things that are really waste products that people have harnessed to make pellets, those kind of pellets out of it, and then to sell it for any kind of manufacturer who wants to make something out of that. So they have made extremely weatherproof wooden beams. So that's a much better way of building any kind of construction. But I personally prefer steel and cement. That's just because that lasts the longest, and it's also sustainable, of course. So what you see there, the upper formation with the plate pattern, that is the owl. The owl was fluttering out of the window and above Paul's head, and way out there into the trees. This is quite a large property. And then underneath are Paul and me visiting, and then on the sides are the two cold streams that surround this fortress, which is absolutely lovely. And green and hedge and trees and flowers and sunshine. It was absolutely gorgeous. So, and this here, the part one, is that it's basically that there could be John Bidwell with his horse, and the blood represents bloodshed that has been happening. The fortress was built in 1865. A lot of hardship, a lot of suffering has been happening in that place, and when we went there I could sense it. And I'm sure the owl could sense that too. And what I did is I talked to them, because that's what I always do when I go to places. I felt their suffering, and I said, it's okay, it's healing. Everything is healing, and don't worry anymore. It is healing. We're making the best out of it. You can stay there because you love that place. It is beautiful, I understand. So for all the entities that are still attached somewhat psychologically or through art, loving, architecture loving, some people just love certain places, and I totally understand. And they stay kind of, and they can be peacefully staying or they can be unrestful, but I told all of them, you're healing now, we are healing, it is okay. We're all healing up. It's there, I help you, I'm part of that. We're all part of that. We're all together with this healing process. Okay, so from bloodshed, it goes to pink, it goes to life, it goes to happiness, new life, new horses, new horse embryos coming into existence. And there are some horses out there. Some people have horses. We saw a stallion who looks just like the female horse that's out there. The female horse that in one of the communities before we get to Fort Bidwell, there's a female horse, and the stallion looks like her brother, and I would love to bring those two together so that they can give each other company and not have to suffer anymore, So the stallion was really, really nervous, and I went over there, I touched his nose, but he was really nervous. He was like saying, it's nice that you come over here, but the people that I live with here, they just put me out here on this meadow, and I have nobody there, no one to relate to, and I'm a herd animal, and I need to be with other horses. And what's going on? And I see some cows. They had some cows in a barn, and he looked over to the cows, but he said, I want to be with those cows, but they locked them away from me into the barn, and I don't know what's going on, and you need to help me with this. And I thought, how am I supposed to help? How can I possibly help? But I did not forget him. I did not forget the two, brother and sister, if that's what they are, or soul brother and soul sister. And I want to bring them together if I can manage to do this. So in this lifetime, I hope I can do this. I want to do that. It's very important that horses have each other's company. Okay, very important. So, and then I have some more of those Pero coffee, kids coffee jars and nut jars, and more packages that I painted. And I have a bunch already here. I don't even know where to put all of that stuff. So this is a beautiful one. This is a beautiful one. That's a beautiful one. And here is the other horse in that other community. That is my horse baby, my girl. And she is like in a prison. She looks like she's in a high security prison. I don't know why they have that high fence. with barbed wire and everything. It's crazy. And I go over to her and I give her apples through the gaps of that fence. And she's very happy when she sees me. She always makes sounds when we're coming over, and she comes right over. I want to rescue her. And this one is called the healing process. So this one's called The Horse is Taking a Mud Bath. And this one is called, how did I call this one again? The total empowerment process. This is total empowerment process. Okay, so here is my new one. Alright. And this one is called the Tesla spaceship. It's really gorgeous. And I also painted around the side, but it's difficult to show that right now. But that is the Tesla spaceship. It's really gorgeous. I absolutely love it. Paul likes it too. It's very colorful, very happy. Very, very gorgeous. And it stands like that. Stands like that in a shelf. So it's a cardboard box with other packaging materials attached onto it. So this is my cameraman. I made that a while back. And then I'm working on this new one here. It's a new one called The Park. And I'm making the park for my clay figures. So they need a park. And then we want to make a video with that park. And explain something out of our psychology. Yes, there is. In the corner is the hacker next to the palm tree. And I am at the swimming pool looking at the hacker. And the pig is looking at the hacker too. The unicorn man is looking in the other direction. And the meat flower is also there, and my scream is next to the meat flower, screaming in the other direction. And I thought about how I arranged this, because I arranged this quite randomly, but nothing is really random. So there's always some psychological story that evolved, through however we place anything. We might place anything randomly and think, oh, we just put this there just because we thought it's pretty. But there's always some psychological causality involved in it. There's the Angel Man, there's the Casanova, there is Donald Trump, there's Pat, there's my Papa dog. It is gorgeous. So, okie doke. Take care. Bye bye.